Hey everybody, it's Alan from SpeedScale. Wanted to give you a quick demo of our Proxy Mock product. It's basically a tool in which we can capture API calls. So what's the purpose of capturing those API calls? Well, you can use those API calls that you've captured to do service mocks and or load testing. So let's take on the first one, service mocks. In this example, I've got here my desktop here, Proxy Mock already installed. It's a pretty straightforward installation process. You can basically say brew Proxy Mock and it'll install it. You can find it on our website called proxymock.io with all the instructions on how to install it on your desktop. On the left-hand side, I'm running cursor here, my IDE, and I got my application here called main.go. You can see here, this is basically in our GitHub repository, and you can download this and give it a try yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is come here and run my debugger, start debugging. You can see it starts running here. And then on the right-hand side here, I'm going to start my proxy mock. So I'm starting my recorder, and you can see on the right-hand side, it started here. So if I come on the left-hand side back to my debugger, I can see here, I'm going to make some calls here. I'm going to force some calls out to two services, a numbers API and SpaceX. So I'll run that. You can see here that it ran, and my debugger gives you more information about it. I'm going to run some more commands here. So you can get basically a list of all these kind of commands that are, and see the the calls being made here on the right-hand side. I can come here back to Proxy Mock and I can stop it. And what we do with Proxy Mock is that when you're making calls out, we capture the request and store it locally on a machine in JSON. Then when we see the response back, we record what we call the response as well. So this request and response is what we call an RR pair. And this is all done on your laptop. So no need to use a cloud service or a SaaS tool. You can actually do this all without having any type of internet connection if you really wanted to. So once I make this call here, I can take a look by inspecting my calls here, and I can see here, hit enter, you can see my call here to the numbers API. I can tap through this and see the actual request header, the response body, and more importantly, I can see the signature. So I can see here, I asked for a random number, it came back with 8649. And if I go to a signature now, I can come here, and when I see the signature, the values here, the numbers API, and when it's a host, the methods to get, and it's JSON, and the URL's random path, I will get a response back from my mocking tool here of 8649. So our tool, without you doing anything, is able to record both the outbound and the response, the request and the response, and be able to create a signature so that when you want to run a service mock, we do a match on the signature and then do the response based on the JSON that you recorded. If I go back here, you can also see the service map. So I can see the calls being made and where they're being made to. I can see this being made to SpaceX as well as numbers API. And if I come back here, I can see the calls to SpaceX if I wanted to. So you can see here some a SpaceX call. You can see the data that's being responded back from SpaceX. And again, that having a signature here in which you can match so that our service mocks will know how to respond back when it finds a match. If I get out of this now, I can come here and go to basically Proxy Mock, we can start mocking. So instead of now recording, I'm now flipped it now, and now it's doing service mocks. So to give you an example, what I can do on the left-hand side here, I could have made some code changes and wanted to test my application. So in doing so, normally what I would do is call the platforms team and then ask them to spin up a non-prod environment, or maybe ask them to refresh the data. And then I'm able to now test my application. Well, we know this is an iterative process, and it's what I could be more productive if I can just do this test without getting anybody else involved. So I come back here now, and now my proxy mock is now mocking the responses. I can see here as I make these calls now that is working as normal. So I made some changes to my code, and I'm doing a simple test here, and I can see that all my calls are coming back, and it's being basically mocked responses are coming from Proxy Mock. So this could save you millions of dollars in not having to create non-prod lower environments, as well as the ability for you to be more productive. You can actually do this testing and do the service mocks right from your laptop. Thanks.